Good evening. We are so delighted to have you all with us this evening to celebrate our 21st Annual Friends of National Service Awards, and tonight, extra specially, the 30th anniversary of AmeriCorps. What I remember most about the early days of AmeriCorps is the passion and the deep belief that the potential that AmeriCorps had to change this country for the better. And I think we can all agree that AmeriCorps has delivered on that promise and then some. Over the last 30 years, nearly 1.3 million Americans have served, working across lines of difference and pouring their hearts into their missions. They have transformed this country through their service. I also want to acknowledge the thousands of AmeriCorps seniors who have served our communities for decades. By harnessing the wisdom and experience of older Americans, AmeriCorps seniors have changed countless lives. I want to say a special thank you to our steering committee, which has grown tremendously over the last year, for their leadership and commitment to our collective work. And I'm delighted to announce tonight that we have two amazing women who have stepped up to serve as chair and vice chair of the steering committee: Janice Terrell, CEO of Public Allies, and Amy Sovacool, CEO of Conservation Legacy. Thank you. I also want to acknowledge Michael Smith, Shirley Sagawa, and the team at AmeriCorps. We are so grateful for your partnership and leadership. I want to thank Truist, the Corps Network, and With Honor for supporting this evening's festivities and for being essential partners in this work always. And one of our biggest champions is here with us tonight, Jonathan Levine. I'll have more to say about him later, but we are really excited to have Jonathan with us tonight. So to me, in its essence, national service is love in action, and it has never been needed more than it is today. Last year at this event, we celebrated the 20th anniversary of Voices. In short, in 2003, a perfect storm of circumstances in Washington created a massive funding gap that resulted in the loss of thousands of AmeriCorps positions, leaving service programs and community organizations scrambling to survive. This community mobilized like never before to turn that around, which we ultimately did, and that was the birth of Voices. Since then, we've worked together to make sure that leaders in Washington, in Congress, and in the administration understand that AmeriCorps isn't just nice, it's necessary. Now, 21 years later, in our 30th anniversary year, we find ourselves facing another devastating funding gap. Next year, we will have 27,000 fewer AmeriCorps members in the field. That's where we were 25 years ago. In the last several years, we have made great progress. Together, we secured $1 billion in funding from the American Rescue Plan, which fueled an expansion of AmeriCorps and increases to the living allowance for AmeriCorps members, something we've been advocating for many years. We've developed and advocated for the AmeriCorps Modernization Plan to make national service an equitable opportunity for people of all backgrounds and organizations in every community. But the ARP funds have been spent or rescinded, and neither the President's budget nor appropriations have increased enough to fill the gap. Over the last couple of weeks, programs across the country have learned that their grants have been reduced or eliminated altogether. Veterans and military families won't have the support they need. Thousands of students won't have access to mentors and tutors. Parks and public spaces all over the country won't have the Conservation Corps members they need to maintain them, and we will have far fewer folks to mobilize when disaster strikes. It is painful to think about the fact that as a result of the gap, 27,000 diverse, talented Americans will not have the opportunity to serve. So our mission, and we need all of you in on this effort, is to make sure that this is a one-year problem, not a two-year problem or beyond. We need to make sure that Congress understands that the organizations on the front lines of our communities need AmeriCorps members to deliver services and meet needs. The return on investment, 17-1, is proof that AmeriCorps is an effective force for good in our country. Study after study validate that AmeriCorps is a powerful public-private partnership, which is why we have been able to build such strong bipartisan support. I've said it before, and I will say it again. My money is on the national service community. We should not have to choose between supporting our AmeriCorps members and enabling opportunities for people to serve. So it's on all of us to make sure that our elected officials understand what's required to ensure we do not have to make that choice ever again. We need those 27,000 AmeriCorps members back on the front lines next year. We need to expand AmeriCorps and not settle for anything less than national service at scale in this country. So, looking out at all of you, I am confident that we can do this. We can deliver for our communities and for every American who wants and deserves the chance to serve. So let's celebrate our honorees tonight. Let's lift up all they have done for this community, thank them for their commitment to AmeriCorps, and ask them to stand with us in this fight. And tonight, let's celebrate what AmeriCorps means to this country. Tomorrow, we get back to work. And with that, let's get on with the show.